St. Louis, Missouri, Bogota, Colombia, Atlanta, Georgia, San Jose, Costa Rica, Chicago, Illinois, Havana, Cuba, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Dallas, Texas, Indianapolis, Indiana, Topeka, Kansas, Macon, Georgia, Cincinnati, Ohio, New Orleans, Louisiana, Houston, Texas, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York. There's a song about New York. And also Detroit, Michigan, and Kansas City, Missouri, home for the Eagle League's Baseball Museum. That's located down on 18th and Vine Avenue in Kansas City. We're going to launch with the Missouri Veteran Conference for October the 22nd, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. My name is Al Close, your host, and creator along with Elder Allen. How you doing, Red?
Fine.
Yeah, I know you sound great as you. And how's the wife?
Fine.
And the family, all doing well?
Everybody doing fine.
And I know, Brother Scott, this is your weather, Scott.
This is my weather, you betcha.
Okay. So right now in St. Louis, we're forecasting 80 degrees for the next 4 days. For today and 3 more days. So this is unbelievable. You know, Scott did tell us in Missouri, especially in St. Louis, you don't like the weather just hang around for 4 days.
That's right.
And we were freezing the early part of the week. And now look at what we got now.
Mm-hmm. And the weather, it said things gonna be happening in diverse places.
For real, we continue to say this all the time, all the time, all the time. That the time that we're living in, it's all stripped out, really. It's actually a script. If you want to look at okay, that we live in, and the Bible is just that is, and right now we are seeing it every day.
Amen. Cause they say we ain't gonna be able to tell it's summer, winter, spring, or fall.
And that's sure where we are right now, Rip.
Yes, sir.
That's a slight idea. Like today, you would think this was a summer day, like a nice summer day. I was talking to Jan this morning, and it's hot over there than it is here, So really, unbelievable. But anyway, you listen to Ferguson USA, HotTalkNews.com, and we broadcast live from Winter Terrace, St. Louis City, on Missouri, and we want to thank you for sharing your share with the Missouri Veteran Conference, especially on a beautiful day like this. In matter of fact, we can be heard on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Live, and all those places. Also, you can all get our podcasts on YouTube, like I just said, either on Spotify and all those places where you can get your podcasts. And now we're so honored, as usual, now to have another educational lesson for us from Pastor Alan Lyles. And with the prayer for today is got a surprise for us today. You know what we had in prayer with Elder Allen Lyles, Pastor of Walnut Fork, South Chapel Church, located 55 West Hampton units in North St. Louis. Pastor Allen Lyles, Pastor of Walnut Fork, South Chapel Church, located 55 West Hampton units, North St. Louis. As a matter of fact, it's in beautiful North St. Louis. Next word you hear there with that of Elder Allen Lyles, Pastor of Walnut Fork, South Chapel Church, located at 55 West Hampton Avenue in Missouri. 120. Reverend Lyles, good afternoon to you again, sir.
Same to you. Let's bow our heads.
There we go.
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we continue to thank you for a wonderful gospel. How that Christ died for our sin, was buried, and rose again. I continue believing to the saving of the soul continues to make heaven your home before you sleep and after you sleep. Heavenly Father, we thank you that you bless the sick all over the universe. And we thank you for waking us up this morning because you didn't have to, but you did. We see a day we have never seen before. And Heavenly Father, we know everything is in your hand. You can do everything but fail. And Heavenly Father, we ask that we have a wonderful fellowship with you today and our people continue to grow in grace and the knowledge of the truth of your wonderful word in Jesus' most precious name. Amen.
Well, Red, we want to thank you for that very, very powerful prayer. We always ask wisdom, and enlightenment, and when people tune in on Saturday afternoon, maybe Saturday, chapter 15, they've been getting some good news they didn't know about. Now, especially when it comes down to biblical lessons, you get them. Today, Rev, what do you have for?
The lesson today is we're going back with Adam. All the way back with Adam.
Hold on, Rev. First of all, you get your ink pen, your pencil, your notepad, or whatever. Now you got to keep lessons. We're going to school.
Amen. So we got a lesson on anthropology. Is the study of man. And then and we go back to Genesis. Go to Genesis, the 2nd chapter, and verse 7. And it says this: the word of God declares that God formed man's body from the dust of the ground. Genesis 2 and 7. And he formed the dust of the ground, and it's 16 elements, and I'm going to give you the name of the element. Get your pencil ready.
Wow.
The 16 elements of man, it said the 16 elements of the soil are said to be present in the human body. Calcium, carbon, chlorine, fluorine, hydrogen, iodine, iron, magnesium, nitro, oxygen, phosphorus, potassium, silicon, sodium, and sulfur. These minerals are composed nearly of 6% of the body, the remainder being water and carbon.
Say those again, please. Say those again, please. Take your potassium again.
Those 16
yes,
elements. Number 1 is calcium. Number 2 is carbon. Number 3 is chlorine. Number 4 is fluorine. Number 5 is hydrogen. Number 6 is iodine. Number 7 is iron. Number 8 is magnesium. Number 9 is magnesium too, but they spell different. One magnesium is spelled M-A-G-N-E-S-I-U-M, and the other one is spelled M-A-N-G-A-N-E-S-E.
That's manganese.
Manganese.
Almost got it. There we go.
Number 10 is nitrogen. Number 11 is oxygen. And number 12 is phosphorus.
Phosphorus.
And number 13 is phosphorus. It's spelled P-H-O-S-P-H-O-R-U-S. That's number 12. Number 14, silicon. Number 15, sodium. And number 16, sulfur. And these minerals are composed nearly of 6% of the body, the remainder being water and carbon. These facts demonstrate that the biblical disclosure of human body as being the earth, 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 47 through 49. Let's go there, people. 1 Corinthians 15. I hope you all are enjoying this.
No, we just getting started, Real. We just getting started.
Okay, 15 and verse 47 through 49. It says the first man is up, verse 47 of the 15th chapter of Corinthians, 1 Corinthians. The first man is of the earth, earthly. The second man is the Lord from heaven. As is the earthly, such are they also that are earthly. And as is the heavenly, such as are they also that are heavenly. And as we have borne the image of the earthly, we should also bear the image of the heavenly. Now, of going back in with another point that with the scripture that brings out man in Galatians. Turn to Galatians, the 5th chapter, and verse 17 to 21. And these are elements too, as well, comparing scripture with scripture. Listen to what this said. The elements of man are that's made up of dust. Verse 17. For the flesh lusted against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if you be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, immolation, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envies, murders, drunkenness, revelry, and such like of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things should not inherit the kingdom of God. Now this is bringing out this anthropology, the study of man, how wicked he is. That's why you so wicked, because of the things that you are made up of this earth, makes you wicked because of. And the other thing is that your mind, that you they disobeyed God, Adam and Eve, in the garden, when they ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
You know, there's another thing, okay, that we always hear about needing vitamins to get our body things in balance. And now you just name all the things that we take these vitamins for. We're trying to, at least.
Amen. Now, here's something in another book, which is describing man in the Forgotten Books of Eden. And verse 10, it says, on the 6th day I commanded my wisdom to create man from 7 consistencies. It says 7 here. 1, his flesh from the earth. 2, his blood from the dew. 3, his eyes from the sun. 4, his bones from stone. 5, his intelligence from the swiftness of the angels and from the cloud. 6, his veins and his hair from the grass of the earth. 7, his soul from my breath and from the wind. Now those are the elements of man too.
Wow.
And
we got so much going on in our body, really. This is just a so enlightening, I tell you. But go ahead.
And something else I want to tell y'all about. You know, the alphabet. The Hebrew alphabet only has 23. 23 letters in it. And you can find them in the Psalms 119. In the Psalms 119, you can find the alphabet of the Hebrew alphabet in there. And it's only 23 letters in that alphabet.
Now, real, as you know, and most people go to Psalm 119. That's a whole lot of verses in that book, so exactly kind of narrow it down for us a little bit.
In Psalms 119, I'm going to turn there, and then I'm going to narrow it down to you what it's saying.
Yeah, tell us where it's at. There's some verses in that one chapter. That's the longest chapter in the Bible, by the way.
Yep. Psalms 119, it is the longest chapter in the Bible. The longest chapter in the Bible, and verse 1. And it's got it's got 176 verses and 119 songs.
Okay. Yeah, I know that's why I said we gotta narrow this down a little bit.
Okay, and the first part of Psalm, it starts off with the 119, said, "Blessed are the undefiled in the way who walk in the law of the Lord." Okay, that first section of this, it's got the alphabet in it, and it's got Alpha. Then the next, at the 9th verse, it's got Alpha and Beta. It's got Beta in the 9th verse. Then up in the 17th verse, it's got Gimel. That's a Hebrew word for ABC. And next section got D, Dalit. And the next one got He, H-E. That's a letter. Next one's got Bam, B-A-U. A-B-C-D-E-F-G. It should be G. A-B-C-D-E. It's E with the He. Because the H is what you pronounce in Hebrew. It's the H and not the E.
You know, what verse is that, Rev?
That's at the top of verse 33 and 119 Psalm.
Okay.
The next verse is an A, B, C, D, E. F is bomb. V-A-U is bomb. That's F.
Mm-hmm.
G is Zain. Z-A-I-N.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is sheep. C-H-E-T-H. So that's A-B-C-D-E-F-G-H-I-J, which is sheep.
Uh-huh.
And the next one is teeth. J-K is K.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one is Jod, J-O-D, K, J-K-L, and that's J, Job, A-B-C-D-E-F-G-H-I-J-K. It's K, Job. And the next one is Calf, C-A-P-H. Then the next one is Lamed, L-A-M-E. The next one is
L-A-M-E-D.
Yeah, A-L-M-E-D, right.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is M-E-M, Mem.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Hebrew letter for, let me see, A-B-C-D-E-F-G-H-I-J-K, L-M-P. The N,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
the N is N-U-N, none. That's the next letter after the M, M-E-M. Then the next one is Samich, or Samich, or Same, S-A-M-E-C-H.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next one is Ain, A-I-N.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next one is P-E.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next one is T-Z-A-D-D-I.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is K-O-P-H.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one is Resh, R-E-S-H.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one is Shin, S-C-H-I-N.
Mm-hmm.
And the last is Tall, Tall, T-A-U. That's the last.
Now, also for people keeping track of this, you have a King James version, okay, and it's right there in front of your eyes. Am I right, Rip?
Yep.
So that's when I was reading. I got my Bible out, and said, "Oh, you can follow along here." That's what I said. The Psalms 119 is a very interesting story that book that tells. Well, Rip, I hate to tell you this, okay, but right against the hour, we got a full show. But we want to thank you so much, okay, for that lesson, that you tell us not only about who we are, but all the things that we go to the doctors for. They tell us we got to keep in balance.
Amen.
That we get no thoughts to, okay. But anyway, you listen to Friggles and USA, HotTowerRadio.com on the beautiful Saturday afternoon. My name is Alfred. That's real. That's Scott. We want to thank you again for letting us come into your homes. And again, if there's no Scott to get out of here. Good afternoon, St. Louis, and around the world. We want to thank you for joining us on a beautiful Saturday here in St. Louis. The weather here, is just so unbelievable, but unfortunately for us, it's dry. So again, that is not exactly a good thing. And also, by the way, today is Black Entrepreneurs Day, and that's something that came up, created by one of the founders of Hulu. Who was one of the very young black millionaires, billionaires. So they came with their own label and brand that's still going very, very, very fast. And also, we want to thank you so much, okay, that we're now happy to report that the COVID-19 cases and deaths are kind of slowing down. But unfortunately, just today, I will tell you still, this is not going away. Just today, the director of CDC, guess what? She now has COVID. So that's why I said you cannot put all your guards down. I'm wearing my face mask. I'm around a lot of people, but you're not sure what is going on. And one thing we also that you want to know, please get your booster shots. You want to make sure that take no chances. The best way to be sure, is to get your booster shot. Okay, so we recommend you do that. And also, while you're getting that flu shot, while you're getting that booster shot, you can get your flu shot also. Because one thing for sure, their prediction, this is going to be a very hard flu season. And one reason that's going to take place, the last couple of years, it wasn't as bad in the flu season. We all had face masks on. And so right now, some places you go, they're not actually requiring you to wear a face mask. Some they're optional. I know, but all hospitals and medical facilities are getting requiring. So guess what? I am taking no chances. Especially now that the CDC has gotten COVID. And they're not going to be looking on TV watching them. You see, he was still wearing face masks. And so I think that's something that we need to take what we're seeing. The eyes are not actually to see what it is. Also today, if you're a Powerball player, it's up to $580 million, making this the 10th largest Powerball in history. So again, you're one of those persons who played the lottery, in your state, $580 million is worth $2 to you, so you can go out there, and take that chance, and who knows, it may be you, or you may win some part of that. Also, we ask you to make sure you get out and vote. Make sure you're registered to vote. Some places you can still register, in some places the deadline is passed. But right now, we ask you to get out and vote because it's so important. And also, a lot of states we said now have early voting, and Georgia, oh my God, it's all 3 days they have had record numbers of people going out and vote. That's one of the places where they've been trying to suppress the vote, and people getting out of their heads and going to the polls, and a lot of things could be driving this election. One of those is abortion. I said this a long time ago that the polls may not show this, but a lot of things the polls don't show. But right now, a lot of women, sometimes don't even know their opinion, don't need business and stuff. So again, I think a lot of people will be surprised about the vote, about this people come out and who will be voting for abortion issues. And also, you shouldn't have crazy. This gets okay. In Florida, the governor came up with this idea, not the governor. Well, it was an idea, but the legislature passed a law. There's now putting people in jail, and it's kind of funny, but it's not funny because people who are older had their records expunged because they've been incarcerated, and for so many years, it comes off your record, you can vote. Well, the law was changed down there, according to the governor. But this is all meant to intimidate you. But I think about 20 people have been picked up. But right now, a judge that says that it's illegal what's taking place there because there's no jurisdiction in Florida has power to do those things. So right now, you will create a lot of anxiety for a lot of people, which at the end of the day, try to keep people rolling. You just fear.
Hey, Howard?
Yes, sir.
I got some information concerning the voting, and for the people in St. Louis, I don't know about the counties, but I got the information concerning the people in St. Louis about the absentee voting. It says due to the changes in the law, all city voters can vote in person, absentee, 2 weeks before an election. Mm-hmm. Between October the 25th and November the 7th, show up at any of the below no excuse needed absentee polling location with a valid state or federal ID and vote. You must have an ID to vote in person and absentee. There will be no provisional ballots. No excuse needed absentee polling location. These are all in St. Louis, the St. Louis City Election Board, 300 North Tucker Boulevard, hours from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Saturday, November the 5th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The Booter Library at 4401 Hampton Avenue on the south side of St. Louis. 10 to 4 Mondays, Thursday, Friday, 12 to 7, Tuesday and Wednesday, 1 to 4:30, and Saturday. Julia Davis Library at 4415 Natural Bridge Avenue, 10 to 4 Mondays, Thursday and Friday, 12 to 7 Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and 1 through 4:30 Saturday. Then the Shapely, which is the last library, 225 North Euclid Avenue in the Central West End area, 10 to 4 Mondays, Thursday, Friday, 12 to 7 Tuesday and Wednesday, and 1 through 4:30 Saturday.
You also read in St. Louis County, they also would be at the county library in Clay and some other locations. We have those for next week that you can do the same thing, get out and vote early. They tried this Definitely they did this back in the primaries back in August. Okay, they went over very well. So right now, there's no reason for you not to vote. Please, there's no reason for you not to vote. So get out and vote. And also, something there's a trend here. A certain group, organizers, a certain group down in North Carolina, is saying that they're noticing that a large group of churches right now, about a third of the churches there, really moved away from the United Church, United Methodist Church down there, from being all that being very conservative. Because there's a lot of shifts going on around the country, a whole lot of different areas that that's changing our lives, and and there's a lot of things that's going on that we need to keep track of and changing our country. And one thing that's been real crazy for the last couple of months, we kind of stayed away from it. Stay away from it. But right now, this week, former President Donald Trump has found him, with a lot of issues, that as he's facing issues. And like just yesterday, the January 6th committee, select committee, I should say, for the insurrection that took place on January 6th, came out with a subpoena. That's demanding that he come before them. I think on or before November 14th, and also there's some documents need to be submitted to them also. And while this is going on, the down in Mar-a-Lago, some documents now have been identified that that was a secret document that involved China and Iran are missing. And while this is going on, one of the things that I would call President Trump, because that's a title for life, really. President Trump's lawyer will demand a special master. What's that Scott did he get down there in Florida? For this record, it was a special master.
I'm afraid I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Okay, it was for President Trump down in Florida in this investigation. In Mar-a-Lago, the judge asked for them to get a special master with him. That's that right, special master.
Right.
But anyway, what happened?
Go ahead.
Anyway, what happened now is that judge, like a senior judge, and he's kind of a no-nonsense guy. And so, as he's looking here, he wants people to put up and say, where's the beef? People verify, but right now they're finding more information than was actually, that we knew about. And the funny part about this, President Trump, he already knows what was in the subpoena. Okay, so he is putting time out here. One of his lawyers, John Eastman, out in California, just a judge out there, David Carter, and wrote an 18-page opinion. That email from Mr. Eastman, who was the architect of the design of the plan to Vice President Pence, to not, sign the documents, transfer the power to the President Biden at that time President-elect. That actually was kind of one of the centerpieces of this whole Democratic committee. Well, they found out that in that, a lot of President Trump's lawyers had told him that he had actually lost the race, and that he actually knew he had lost the race, and that he actually did, having been told this by some lawyers, his lawyers in emails. Normally, President Trump is not found, and probably because first of all, he don't like this at all. But in this case, he tried to subvert the law. Eastman told him that in the email that it's illegal what he was doing, and so he continued to do that. And one of the cases that he signed off on, to the best of his knowledge, that this is true, actually before the Supreme Court. So anyway, so these documents that involve him now are probably the most damaging stuff so far that they have now against him. So again, as this thing gets crazier and crazier, we learn more and more about history though. There's nothing else. But again, stay tuned. We're gonna find more about it. There's Mr. Danny yesterday was, sentenced to about 4 months in jail. He appealed, and also he has to pay a fine also. And also, a couple weeks ago, we started talking about the Mississippi River, how it has been getting lower and lower and lower because there's no rain. We didn't have a lot of snow this year, so matter of fact, around the country, we're suffering drought, so to speak. The global warming was like a better description. The Mississippi River in some places right now, where we used to have the islands out there, where you can see them, well, it's so low in some places that you can actually walk to the middle of the river in some places where they have islands there. And so now this is creating a hell of a problem. I use the word hell of a problem because right now, it's the farmers that are getting ready to, they're going to send their goods upriver. They can't do it the way they like to because the Mississippi River is so low in some places that the barges cannot take the normal loads. They got to make them lighter, and in some cases they got stuck. And so what this is doing now, this is creating a problem, and then now most of the things that normally would go by the river, which is much cheaper, but those big barges you see a lot of time in St. Louis, Missouri also. Well, those barges are somewhat sitting up here on that rate. And now that means that you treat you by either by rail or either by the highway. And that is proved to be much more expensive. And also there's on the railroads, there were we were ready to strike some months ago, but there's still one union so forth that's still yet to agree. So we gotta keep our eyes on that also, but to a settlement with the union. And also, we reported last month that the chess world was having some problems, and that this is going to be kind of something that we may keep our eyes on. Well, just this past week, the chess master, this very young man, 19 years old, one of the youngest people to be a chess master in the country, no, not the youngest, one of the youngest, his name is Hans Moke Neiman. Well, he was accused of still cheating at the Sinkfield Grandmaster tournament, chess tournament here in St. Louis last month. Well, that has kind of blown up a little bit now that he's been, well, he admitted he's been caught stealing, cheating, I should say. Matter of fact, over 100 some times. Well, now he is suing, this is interesting, he is now suing the chess world, like chess.com and Grandmaster, he's suing, who accused him, Grandmaster Marcus Carlson, who was the first person to accuse him in a major tournament. Now he's suing all of them for over $100 million, saying that they are ruining his life. And this is kind of reversing the table, where it was going. And I can understand his feelings. At 19 years old, you're a chess master, and and that's how he's trying to make a living. And now with all the allegations going around, and I'm kind of curious, really, how can he prove otherwise that he's innocent or really they were guilty of one sometime? So this is going to be something that we're going to play out a little bit more to come out here. Keep our eyes on that. And also something really, really strange. Not strange here in the state of Missouri. We have I think 160 counties around the state, but one of those counties, we have a little small town called Louisiana, Missouri. Well, they found the police chief is now facing charges of selling drugs, handling drugs, and matter of fact, it's so bad that 2 men overdosed in his apartment. One of those persons died, and and now the whole police chief, William E. Jones, is being held on $150,000 bail, and his girlfriend, Alex A. Thorne, she's being held also on $100,000 bail. And the irony of this is that one of her brothers died from the overdose, and the other brother right now did survive. So this is a strange story in a little small town of Missouri, and you never know on these little small towns here. And it comes out from time to time. And also, around Missouri, we've been having an ongoing debate for the last couple of months, where a lot of people got signatures. Marijuana has been legalized in several states around the country. Some of it's in Missouri is approved for medical marijuana. but now they want to get it approved for recreational marijuana. And also, you know, most recently, President Biden signed a law making it free a lot of people who had drug charges for marijuana on their records, to get via sponge. And so, and by doing this, a lot of people in Missouri government right now is not going to sign off on that law for Missouri because some of the laws are state charges also, along with federal charges. But most recently, they had campaigns going from campaigns for campaigns against. But anyway, one of the campaigns for showed up with highway pictures of highway patrol, highway patrol trooper in one of the ads that they put out. Well, naturally, they got a cease and desist order from highway patrol saying take that down right away, which they did. You know, FBI, no, I'm not the FBI. Highway patrol didn't authorize that. But anyway, this is also on the ballot come November here, November 8th here in Missouri. And we're going to have a very, very special show after that, after the election. We had to go over all the stuff that may change or will change on a national level. And something that's made national news here in St. Louis County, and this is going to get bigger. In St. Louis County, school called Jana Elementary School up in Florence, Missouri, which is a suburb of St. Louis, has been deemed proven to be contaminated, and this is kind of stuff, okay, that's been laying around since World War II, and then the school is right on the face of a little small creek called Coldwater Creek. Well, contaminated water has been going through there, so kids at this school are probably been infected. By the lead and all the stuff that goes with the contamination. And the bad part about this school's been there probably a couple of decades now. And so there's no big secret that this school had issues. And so the EPA, the Corps of Engineers, all those people right now have been aware of this problem. And I'm happy to say that our Congresswoman Cori Bush has now asked to get all those other agencies involved so they can remedy this. School was officially closed down yesterday. They'll be going to school virtually for a while. Now they got the first of the year. They all going to be transferred to different other schools, in the district. And naturally, the parents are very unhappy about this. One, for the school, for their parents, kids be transferred to different places. It may create a hardship for some people as they kind of, go to new schools. And but at the same time, this is something, okay, that not only should we talk about the Coldwater Creek here, there's some other contaminated sites in St. Louis that goes back to the atom bomb that was produced, that hit Japan years ago. Well, all that waste, okay, has been stored in the St. Louis area. Am I right, Scott?
I'm not sure what the source of that is now.
Well, no, well, there's a lot of contamination even out here in Bridgeton. They have waste see, this was for some years they were trying to figure out how to dump this nuclear waste that came from making those atomic bombs. And so some of that technology was in this area. So some of the waste that they had in making those bombs is now been found in the St. Louis area, and it's contaminated, which is not a good thing. So again, that's taking place. So we have all those kids not to have any issues that's ongoing, and also here in St. Louis City and county, and I guess I can say around the world, there's been a hell of a problem here with Hyundais and Kia, both made by Hyundai cars that are being stolen. And one of the reasons is that on one of the websites, they have found, and they had a display, zip, as you said, that showed you how to steal a car. And a lot of those cars, who didn't have the proper defense mechanisms on the cars, like mine, I got a Hyundai, I have one myself, but we have all those security stuff on it. But not taking a chance, I wouldn't get me a club. I want to make sure that when people see that, and also in this carjacking, people are starting to get killed now. In St. Louis, we had another man ran over on that rail right there now, well, from your house on Kings Highway in Madison. And the bad part about this, a lot of people, they do this, they need to see the accident, which is against the law.
Amen. So, they sure do.
Yeah, so we have had a lot of those people leave the scene. A lot of times people not killed, but a lot of people, people are killed, and really, this can easily be avoided because a lot of times as you drive, I know here in St. Louis we have a shortage of police officers around the country, and so most times police officers right now, there was a time that they would get you for speeding, get you for running red lights, stop sign. Well, nowadays, you can be at a stop sign and people go right around the rail. I know you see it all the time.
Yep.
Or you sit at a stoplight and they go right through the stoplight. He said, "Oh,
yes, they do. They sure do."
Okay, here. So again, this is very dangerous. And another thing that we have here in St. Louis that's so that it needs to be dealt with. Here in St. Louis and also in Kansas City, Missouri, and across our state, I should say, we have a lot of young people who've been killed by guns. Just last week, I talked to Reverend Clyde yesterday, and a little 2-year-old ended up killing himself. He got a gun. He's at an auto zone, and he in court with his mother, and he dug down between the seats there and pulled out a gun and killed himself. And a lot of this is happening around our city, where young kids are seeing where the parents keep their guns there. Now, the problem comes in, you don't hear a lot of white kids doing that. Well, for one, they've been taught early on how to respect a gun. They got 4-H clubs, all those things. But in the black community, there are no classes, no place right now to teach about gun safety. And so right now, this is something that needs to be addressed. I'm not quite sure how they're going to do it, but it's something that needs to be looked at in some kind of way. So anyway, my name is Alan, folks. That's Red, that's Scott. You listen to us at USA HotTalkFacebook.com. And also, you can find us by Google us, Country Missouri German Corporation. We'll be right back with our famous superstar in a very short time. My name is Alan. I St. Louis and around the world. Today, I mentioned Bogota, Colombia, but that's where Chuck went down there to the inauguration of the new vice president. And also, I mentioned today Jose, Costa Rica, where that was the country. When in America, North America, South America, they have 3 black vice presidents. Next, we have Kamala Harris here in the United States. And we had a black president in Costa Rica, and now we have one in Colombia, and that is a very, very good females are now getting involved. And we have our female superstar, this Cheyenne Hubbard. How you doing, Cheyenne?
I'm doing great. Life is good, and I cannot.
Oh my God, you about saying that life is good. It is. In fact, it's a beautiful day in St. Louis, and Kansas City. You tell me, right now the weather we have in St. Louis coming from Kansas City, I guess the winds are blowing from the west. And what's the temperature in Kansas City today?
It's about 75.
Okay, and that's going up. Yes, yes. And likewise in St. Louis. In fact, we put in the high today about 83, 85 today also, and tomorrow it's going to be in the 80s. So this weather is unbelievable. Also, let me ask you a question, Shan. You cross the Missouri River, like, is that high or low? How's the water level there?
You know what? It's pretty average. I think it's hotter than normal right now.
I'm talking about how deep is it? Is it drying up at all?
It's not drying up, but since we had a freeze not too long ago, a week ago, everything kind of died off, like the bugs, the trees, and all that stuff. But the water just seems stable.
Okay, that's a good thing. Well, anyway, today we are honored to have Ms. Shine Hubbard, who is our Zoomer. And some years ago, we started having every third Wednesday for her to come on and talk about what's going on in the Zoomer world. You know, and last weekend, we kind of moved her back a week. We had County Executive Sam Page on, who was a lot of information about Cheyenne. In your world, okay, there's a lot of young people doing a lot of stuff. So kind of bring us up to date. First of all, how you been doing? What you been up to since you graduated from college?
Well, you know what? I've been
cum laude, by the way.
I've been focusing on my genealogy, my business, helping people find who they are. The business is called Connected Trees. And you can find it on connectedtrees.com. I find family members and ancestors.
Yeah, 2 more times.
Connectedtrees.com and connectedtrees.com.
Okay.
And so that's what I've been focusing on recently. There has been a lot of stuff happening in Kansas City since the last time I spoke. And I think the most important thing that has been happening that I feel like the media has not been talking about is that there was a potential serial killer on the loose.
Yes.
And so about a month ago, like in mid-September, this bishop, I think his name was Bishop Caldwell, Tony Caldwell.
Caldwell, yes.
Yeah. He said, you know what, there's a serial killer on the loose. He said there's a bunch of black women and black girls going missing in this area in, KCMO. On Prospect, yes, on Prospect.
In the black community.
Yes, this is the heart of the black community. And what happened after that, soon after, right, the Kansas City Police Department said that it was those rumors were completely false and unfounded. Just immediately after. And they said the social media claims of a serial killer are untrue, they're not real. They basically called the bishop a liar.
Yes. They did call him a liar. Basically, they called him a liar, yeah.
Yeah. So now just in September, a week ago, this black woman escaped.
But that's how we said last week ago.
Yeah, this black woman escapes after being kidnapped from Kansas City. She was tortured in this basement, this handmade basement dungeon for a month by this man named Timothy Haslett. And she escaped. She went, and where she escaped is in this like suburbs of Kansas City in El Sorcio Springs. It's like 40 minutes away from the black community.
Now, is this in Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas?
Oh, this is in KCMO, Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay.
And it's just
Also, the subscribe to this lady, matter of fact, that's kind of the other thing out the facts here. She escaped, and when the man went to take the kids to school, but the way she was found was she had a steel collar around her neck with a chain to that collar, and so take it from that chain.
So yeah, she escaped when he was taking his child, which is another level of just horribleness that there was a child potentially witnessing this. And so basically, they said she had a trash bag on, lingerie, and she had whip marks all over her body. She claimed that she'd been whipped and sexually assaulted repeatedly for months until she escaped. She also claimed that, her friends didn't make it. And she kept saying that. That her friends didn't make it, all that stuff. And it's just so terrible because, you know what? She said that she got kidnapped off of Prospect, just like, how the pastor said there's a bunch of black women going missing. And it was...
Also, Sharon, the bad part about this, that, I kind of read the article, I read a couple of times, okay, that's that riveting. But in the police department, reply was, they didn't file a police report, at the time. Well, when somebody's saying somebody's missing, you should start an investigation even then. I think that was kind of amazing to me, at least, for them to come up with that. Now, so far, what is happening in the case?
So far, there has not been that many updates. And basically, they boarded up his house 2 days after the woman escaped. They boarded up his house and put a giant fence around it.
Wow.
And they didn't do a press release until, I think, 4 days ago. And it was very vague. And they said, you know what? The woman who escaped was not reported missing, but that doesn't mean someone didn't try to report her missing.
That's double talk, right? That's double talk. We can mean it's double talk.
Yeah, and the thing is, they said it's really hard to report an adult missing, especially when you live in that community. The police might not take you seriously. They could have said, she's a grown woman and she could have left on her own.
Let me ask you a question on Prospect. Is that an area that's known for prostitution?
Yes, it is sometimes. But it's also, it's at the edge of Kansas City, right? And it's known as it's still part of the black community because, Kansas City is very racially, segregated due to historic redlining in back in the day. It hasn't really changed that much. But I'm not, I'm not per se for certain. I take that back. I'm not per se for certain it's known for prostitution, but that's what,
a lot of activity goes on.
Yeah, they said it might have been known for that.
A lot of times, women like that, they come up missing. People don't get much, talk to her, saying, she doesn't, something like that is.
Yeah, because they really don't, and if you look at trends in serial killers, right, with
Ira? Please stand by while we get Ira back on the phone.
challenge on that, but I was about to ask Cheyenne. One of the things that around the country, in our black neighborhoods, a lot of our we had a population shift. A lot of our schools, in the inner cities right now, some of them also in Kansas and Missouri, are being closed down. Sharon, you were telling me about today the school, that was trying to close down. Tell us about that.
So the school right now in Kansas City, Missouri, they're proposing to close down a lot of these schools in the black neighborhoods, in the black community. One, the schools that they're trying to close down is this one called Central High School. It has been, it's right in the heart of the black community. It's been there for, I don't know, decades. My own uncle went there, and they're trying to close it down and try to repurpose it or redevelop it. And currently, we have a bunch of people protesting.
I was surprised. Today, Cheyenne, you have a very special guest right now. Your mother just called Shannon. Katie, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Okay, your daughter's on the line with us right now doing her Thursday program today. So say hello to Cheyenne.
Hello, Cheyenne. Hi. Yes, she would know. My mother would know a lot of information about Central High School because she grew up in that community. She lived in KCMO all her life.
So you all are talking about Central? You're talking about Central High School and what's going on with them right now?
Yeah, I know. Ken, I was in high school. They had a hell of a football and track team also. I mean, we always bossed them in track. Most people did. Matter of fact, it wasn't just us. They was dominated, and also they had a lot of academic domination. So what is going on with them trying to close that school?
Well, it's a problem, what has been taking place with the Kansas City, Missouri School District. It's always been pretty special, whatever. But Central High School is where one of my brothers attended, and I went to Lincoln High School, another historical black high school in Kansas City. But Central High School is one of our other diamonds, in the district. And they have this beautiful school. It had recently been, renovated. They have an Olympic-sized pool. They have weight rooms and all kind of great stuff in this particular school. And I think they have video and photography. Just a great school inside, And so I think some of the enrollment had gone down. You know how they have redistrict and done all this different stuff. We had a great superintendent. He left, and now we have a new one. And also it falls up under political stuff. And so you have some developers that are interested in the school. They had 10 schools that they said that they're about to close, and Central was on the top of it. Instead, they're going to repurpose. And so that means a developer came in from who knows where, and, because they're picking and choosing since they're doing all of this, what they call gentrification, what I call grafting, going in, picking what they want. And the hell with the people that live there have always lived there. So Central is on their chopping block, and when they put that out, it lit a fire under a whole lot of people. And so they've had all these different meetings so far, and the rooms are packed. I think even the Central High alumni president flew in from Chicago. And so, he's coming talking their language. Okay, so show me your paperwork. How did you come up with this? Who are these developers? This and that. And they're gonna have, they get away with a whole lot of stuff, but some things are sacred to us. Lincoln High School, Central High School, all that, because the people are still, we're still here, we're still alive, and we are active, and so that's kind of like what's happened. But it was part of the original, the DSEC program that they did a long time ago, where they came into our district and started chopping it up, and said our district was too high and was too big. And the state controls a lot of it, the state of Missouri, which we know what that's about. And so they control a lot of things in Kansas City, including our police department, which is they should not have control of our police department in Kansas City. So that's why we have a lot of the problems, because the people that are outside are picking and choosing what they want, and they thought it was going to be easy pickings. But I think they're going to have a fight on this one. They're going to make this national, you know.
Well, Candy, one of the things, and I can't remember the Shannon we talked the other night about this, that here in St. Louis, okay, we had a lot of our like single school, like Summer High School, and that they were trying to close down. And matter of fact, I know old neighborhood where I used to live in, okay, the city, we had Central High School. We had spent millions and millions of dollars renovating that school.
Right.
And they actually closed it down, and I even tried, without success. I shouldn't say without success. I was able to raise about $6 million because it was an old Jewish school. And I went to the rabbis there, and I went to church, and amongst them, we were able to garner about $60 million. And unfortunately, got political because I wouldn't, play the game or pay off the alderman there. It's still closed and it's tore up now.
That's something.
Yeah. And I know right now, Central High School is one of those schools that's worldwide, I should say, because I know back in the days, Central High School, that was a school that we all looked up to.
Right. Central was a premier, the Eagle.
When you say Kansas City, you said Central.
Right. You said Central's and they spent, I think, when they were fixing all this stuff up, over $32 million, and then you just want to come and close it, I mean, it has, racquetball courts, gymnastic training facility, and, the Olympic-sized pool, so people come in and utilize that. They want that. They like, oh, we could utilize this and make it to what we want, since all of them are moving back into all our neighborhoods and picking and choosing, and, it's just really horrible the way they have, how they do this gentrification or the Columbusing or whatever. It's a form of discrimination, and for them to be able to just come in and do that. But I'm like, sometimes you just stand up and swing back. And if all the people in the community unify on that, they can push that one back. I said, you're doing a lot, but you're not taking our school like that.
Well, I know for a fact, okay, that this was going to be banged down. Because we had a problem with Summer High School here in St. Louis, is one of the most famous schools, probably in the States. It was being one of the great high schools, built, Western Mississippi. And they were about to close it. And what they did, they kind of retooled it, like you just said, made it something now. Not only it's open as a high school now, but it also has some other uses to it. And again, they had just renovated that. Matter of fact, they had just built one of those toy tracks, football tracks, football field, and a track also. And but this is right in the middle of the Ville neighborhood, which is one of the most famous neighborhoods in the country.
Wow.
And so they were, and again, you have the developers who want that land. Okay.
They come in and just do as they please. I'm like, no, you need to step back. I mean, you can't just come and take everything that you want. Our jewels, right. I mean, they took a lot already. Some of the schools that have put some hardship. And the thing is, they want them to go to another school called Southeast, which is also one of our, good schools, but it's an older school that hasn't had a lot of repair on it. So it has plumbing problems, all kind of different things. But Central doesn't have that. So why would you take the kids from Central and send them to the older school as opposed to have some of the kids come down to the newer school, and work like that. Now, one of the problems is that they do have a lot of charters, and people were sending their kids to charters because the discipline and all of that. And you have, like in all schools, they're going to be fighting and all that. But they said the enrollment really went down. But I'm like, there's enough kids in the area that if you bring in good qualified teachers that actually care about our kids, that look like our children, then maybe you'd have a little bit, it's a lot to unpack with this, So. We know what they're doing, and we see them, and we need to just call them out on it. Stop your discriminatory practices with education in all areas, with medical, any and everything you can think of. We're always being attacked or pushed around, but I'm like, this is the 2022. This school was created in 1884. I'm like, no.
Oh my God.
It was established in 1884.
But Candy and our sister Cheyenne, this is always a treat, okay, to have you both all together. One of the things that I'm so proud of your daughter, okay, that she's been doing this show a couple of years now.
Yes.
And she graduated cum laude, communication. Business is starting to flourish. It's going to get better, okay? Mm-hmm. But now, of course, she also had a part-time job working for your company, family business, I should say, with you and Wayne Hubbard, in the American Outdoors. So while you're here, tell us a little bit about what's going on with American Outdoors. Shane, I'm sorry to I apologize for taking your time here, okay, but I got to do this, okay?
Well, we created Urban American Outdoors back in 1998. Originally was the first concept, 99, and so we're going along. It's about 24 years. Next year, we're actually going to do our 25th anniversary of Urban American Outdoors. And what it was, we created the first outdoor lifestyle diverse television show in the country that was owned by Black people, produced by Black people, Black cameraman, editor, a Black woman as a director, producer, and our host, which is me. That's right. The only woman in the game doing this. And then Wayne Hubbard is our host, and he was the outdoorsman, businessman, but he grew up in Nowata, Oklahoma, and he is Black Cherokee. Native. So he's an indigenous man on all kind of fronts or whatever. So it's just a natural thing for him. And what I worked in television, he did marketing, and he said he wanted to do an outdoor TV show. So he let me look at some of them because I was watching the TV. I hated them. Oh my God, I hated these shows. I said I cannot do this. And
Candy, I have to admit, okay, that this was kind of pre-Cheyenne at that time.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But the fact is that this is how you guys came together, okay? It was like a match made in heaven at that time. That you find a lot of times that you got Blacks got expertise, but they don't come together in a collaborative way. Mm-hmm. And in this case, I'm so happy that you guys did get married. Because now we got Cheyenne, you got a couple other kids also, okay? Mm-hmm. But having said that, you also created a show that is going worldwide recognition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You've been out there on all the platforms, and even one of the things that we talk about, that duplication, somebody trying to steal your show is something that is flattery, because they try to take what's a good thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And so now we're going on 25 years. Mm-hmm. If you look back on that now. By the way, I don't know if you're aware, and Cheyenne also, today is also Entrepreneur Day. Did you know that?
Okay. This is my day then.
Yes. That's what I said. So that's what I said. So when you called in, or I didn't ask you to call in, by the way.
No.
So this was kind of out of the blue, Cheyenne, and I was saying it was a perfect segue into Black entrepreneurs, okay, doing things in the community.
Yes.
That has changed. You guys have created so many jobs. And also in doing that, I'm excited to say that you created one of the most beautiful young Black women, I think, in the country. But what she's doing with genealogy.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
And what she's done, okay, really to help the family business. Because one of the things that you guys do, a lot of genealogy and history, in what you're doing, historically speaking itself. Mm-hmm. Am I right?
You're right. You're 100% right. And when Cheyenne started doing the genealogy, it just really, I'm telling you, it is so uplifting, and it's groundbreaking, the things that she was doing, because I couldn't break through the brick wall finding family history. I mean, she's just anointed and gifted with it, and it's like the ancestors talk to her and lead and guide her, and then we have found family members that I never knew about. I just thought it was just, a small family. Oh, we are large, and they're all over. And she even found the ones in Africa, and we've been talking to them, and they're like, oh, wow. And they connected dots about who was taken. And I mean, it's just so beautiful, and it just makes you feel whole. Because I was angry. I was angry when I was doing genealogy, trying to find it, because all the white people could find all their families, because they have records on there. Ours are buried and hidden, and we're connected. They have us with the animals and all this, and I mean, just evil. So I did walk around with a little bit of anger, but when she did this, it lifted so much of that. I tell you, if you can get your genealogy done, call Cheyenne. She has Connected Trees as her business, and she's just really embarking upon it. But she has found so many people's family missing. You're missing.
Man, also.
See that? I talk to people all the time. They say, Cheyenne helped me. I said, oh my God, she helped you too. So the ancestors are getting the stories to us, because we need to know what happened.
Well, Sharon, this is going to surprise you. We're just going to be with the Sharon Hubbard show. We're going to talk about all the things that you're going to talk about yourself, the things that you've done in the community, so there's not a better person in the world have your own mother to blow your horn.
I'm her first big advocate. I could swear by it. I'm like, she did the thing. And I was like, whoa, because I didn't have pictures of I never had pictures of my grandmother. She found all the family, the grandmother, the great-grandmother, and the great-great. She found all of them, and they got pictures. They had a love story. I mean, the one had written a love letter. She found the actual letter. It was she went to KU in their library. I mean, in their where they keep stuff. She found all of that
in their
archives. Yeah, and she researched and got it for me. So I have the actual. I saw the letter is so sweet, and the handwriting. I said she could write well. That let me know how intelligent this woman was, and oh my gosh, and pretty handwriting. Like today they don't have pretty handwriting. They took the handwriting out of school.
Don't even go there. Okay.
Yeah. Look, these kids, they took cursive and everything out of the school, so they can't even read it or see it. See the things they do to our children? You see that. So you won't be able to read those old records. So you can't, So it's all a system of design of destruction.
Amen.
Please go out and vote. Everybody get out and vote.
Yes.
Amen.
Because another thing, okay, that I'm so happy that Sam, that your mother tell you the story that you want. How did it make you feel as a mother sitting there at the graduation of Cheyenne when she got her, when she was cum laude? Tell us about that. How you felt about your daughter being at the top of her class?
I was so happy. I was like elated, and they had it at the beautiful Kauffman Stadium that houses the Royals.
Oh wow!
So it was just, it was a big graduation, but the good thing is that her group went first, so we could, we could get up out of there afterwards, because you're still under the kind of like you're kind of being careful because of the pandemic stuff or whatever, and it was a huge group. So anyway, but I was so happy because I thought about the trials and the tribulations of trying to get her through school. It wouldn't be her, but sometimes it's just the way it is. The system set up, and some of the teachers, and you have to fight and advocate real hard for your children because the way they have things set up sometimes. And I knew she was brilliant, but I didn't know she was that smart. But girl, she kicked it through, made it, and she's just, I'm happy. I'm really proud of the work that she did and made it. Like, I'm looking like, okay, you rolling like that?
Hey, that's not baby. I know how Wayne feels, as a proud father. I know how that's that.
Yeah, chest stuck out, you know, and all the family came. They had family drive in from all over. Some of the cousins that she actually found on genealogy showed
Oh,
up.
wow.
You know, yeah, she found them. They were like, "We love you, Shine," because she's helping them too. You know, and so definitely, I mean, everybody came together and so proud of her, and we gave her flowers, and you know, she got all her little gifts and stuff from people all over. They're really proud of what she achieved, and we're looking for greatness and excellence, you know, coming from her, especially with her business and all of the social media stuff she does. You know, she got me a TikTok too. You know, she made me a TikTok, and so that's content. You know, she's the director of me on my TikTok because I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. So she made one as I Am Candy Kisses, and she wanted me to go back and talk about when I was singing in Japan about, you know, my experience being overseas and that. And so far about 71,000, you know, likes or whatever.
Wow.
And I'm like, whoa, okay. So she did that. So she's skilled.
And let me ask this question. As a parent, you know, I recall as a parent, you know, when my daughter told me, okay, that she was just getting out of grade school and she wanted to go. She was at Catholic school, and that she was about to go to a Catholic high school last year. And as she came, he said, "Daddy, you know, I like computers." And school do not have. No, that's not true. She said they have 3 computers in the whole school. You know, women okay do so. Then she said, "But Daddy, there's a school in South St. Louis County. Okay, got a whole lab with computers. You know, and so I ended up getting in that school. Okay, now then I remember when she brought my grandson a VCR, and I got the TV for him, and I was saying at that age, what are you gonna do with this? Now, let me ask you a question. How did you feel when you bought her first computer? When she asked to get her computer first, explain how that felt. That experience.
Well, it felt good, and I was happy that she was interested in that. But you know, because we are kind of a technical like family, so she was exposed to, you know, us having cameras, which my daddy always said. He always told me, always have a camera with you. You know, that's before cell phones and all that kind of stuff. We said keep a camera with you because you need to document as you go, and so it was something that we kind of passed down to her, and so she would have, you know, a camera. She'd have her computer, and she kicked right in. So she automatic. I think the kids just got a knack for it, you know. Where me, it was gonna take me a little bit longer, but they just know this is who they are. And so when she asked for it, and we got it for her, and unfortunately, the school district that she went to, they had computers for all children, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of the advantages of the school district that she was going to. They all, and it was an urban school district, but they all got laptops. So we were happy about that.
Okay, now I'm gonna put you on the spot, Cheyenne. I'm gonna put you on the spot, and at the same time, okay, this is your day, Cheyenne. Okay, as a mother, okay, this is Entrepreneur Day, and you as a Black woman, knowing all the hardships that you have experienced going through life, be where you are now, and to see your daughter right now on the verge, okay, of becoming a great person. What is your most proudest thing you would tell tonight about your daughter that you know that you think that nobody know that you need to know?
What is the most what that she needs?
Important thing that you would say about your daughter. You know, as you were trying to. And I'm not trying to, if she was trying to tell the world, okay, about Cheyenne. What are the top 3 things you would tell us about Cheyenne?
Oh, Cheyenne. Oh, she's a very social person. She can cut through where some people may have a hard time talking to people. She gets right to the, you know, doing her genealogy. She gets right to it, and it's like she turns into this old sage, like she's an old soul, and she's because she's a young kid. Okay, I mean, she's a young woman. She's not a kid anymore. She's a young woman, but she can talk to anybody and get the answer to what she needs to help you find what you need. So she goes right to, and then once she find, and with this kind of history, it's messy. Okay, so there's a lot of things that you may not know about your family, that you may not want to know about your family, but she has a grace in how she delivers it. And I mean, it's to the point. She doesn't sugarcoat, she gets there. And then it gives the person the opportunity to process, because with this kind of stuff and it drops those big bombs on you, sometimes you need to process and go away for a little bit, but they always come back and say, okay, now tell me more. So she's good at that. She's also very, she likes to get things done. Let's get it done now. She's ready to get stuff done now. So if you get her started on something and you wasn't real about it, just watch out, because she's going to hound you until it's done. Oh my God.
She's not a procrastinator.
No, she wants it done because she could see it. And I guess, that comes into your spirit where you're driven like that. So that's kind of like on the spiritual level, she's driven like that. A lot of times we don't know what that is, but that's your spirit inside getting you moving on what you need to do. And the third thing, she has a heck of a sense of humor. She laughs a lot and has a way of telling stories. Oh my gosh, she's on top of current events before the even news media has it. She's already connected the dots and seeing what's getting ready to happen before it happens, and will predict and tell you what's getting ready to happen. Then you look up and there it is on the news saying what she had already said, 2 months ago or 6 months ago. So she's really in tune to what her world and what's going around her. So those are three good, pieces on who she is and what she does.
Now I'm gonna reverse the course here, Cheyenne.
Hello.
I know. Hello. Okay, what would you say the top three things about your mother that she's done and helped you really told her about?
Well, I can tell you one thing. My mother is very determined. No matter what, she's going to fight tooth and nail for what she deserves and what she wants for her community.
Okay.
One of the things I truly love about her is how much she actively fights for our community and fights for other communities as well. She fights for all children across the country and tries to help children get better by teaching them how to fish and all that good stuff, right? And making programs. And, communities that are typically ignored. She, you know what? She has a really amazing life story. And I think that, that stems from her own parents teaching her right. Like,
Amen.
I'm just amazed by what my mother could have done in her amazing life. And she paved the way for many women.
Working together.
Shannon, I know one of the things, okay, that is you want to hear from your mother's mouth, okay, sometimes better for somebody else. Now, today you got a chance to hear from your mother's mouth. And then as a parent, especially with a daughter like Shannon, you a black young lady, you want to sometimes what she about her mother, don't you? And she just told you. Did you know? I mean, so how that make you feel?
How it make me feel? I'm blown away. you don't know what they think.
A full glass of water trying to overspill.
Yeah, that is wonderful. I mean, it's just wonderful. But I have a lot of, I got a lot of hope for the future when we run into young people such as Cheyenne, and it's a lot of young folk of excellence out here really doing some amazing things. So, sometimes when we look, I don't know what's going to happen next to our communities, blah blah blah. But one thing about Black folk, they're very resilient. Just when we think that it's like that we done, here we go, they kick in. Each group kicks in and makes it happen. So,
Amen.
And I have faith that we gonna be all right.
Amen.
Well, one thing, I would be remiss if I didn't speak up for Wayne Hubbard here, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, these women, to me, people, this is a show. They are my family, okay? I met Corey years ago, and I knew about them before I met him, okay? So he did not exaggerate, and they became my family. And I knew, we are family. I said that we are family. That's why, as I mentioned her, and the thing that I love the most, okay, that today being Entrepreneur Day, and now we have been joined by the top entrepreneur in the whole world for Black folks, Mr. Chuck DeBow. Chuck, how you doing, sir?
Wait a minute. I am an advocate for entrepreneurs. I'm doing fantastic. I appreciate that. I tell you what, I don't know if anybody got more passion for it than me. Now, we all have to face ourselves in the mirror every day and say, how well did I do? So, nonetheless, I am doing fantastic. I'm really honored and pleased, pleasure to be within your great company. And it sounded like I was coming.
Yeah, Chuck.
My brother in Christ. Amen, amen. But so, what were we talking about? What that come
Okay, well, really, okay. I'm about to get you real good, Chuck, here.
Yeah, I know. I look before I leave, but I'm ready to die.
Okay, but today, Cheyenne Day, it was every third Saturday, but we a week off, okay? And so Cheyenne been bringing us up to date on what's going on in Kansas City, and said, and out of nowhere, our mother calls me on the show. And so we were able to have, I asked our mother three questions, okay, that she'll tell, that she knows about her daughter, nobody else knows that don't describe her daughter. And so she can give her extra compliments, okay? Then I reverse that, okay? And ask Cheyenne to tell her mother, okay?
Start some stuff today, aren't you?
No, come on.
Is Cheyenne on here too?
Yes, I am.
Hey, Cheyenne.
Hello.
Don't let Iris let Iris sit your house.
No. What Cheyenne's been doing now, and she's very cool at it, and she has her own business going, and it's prosperous. She's a genealogist, and she touched so many lives, and that Candy wasn't aware of. Because people say, "Oh yeah, Cheyenne did this. Oh yeah, Cheyenne did it." What? What? And it's around the community. But one of the things that Candy just said about Cheyenne, and something that's close to my heart, she's something like myself, okay? We kind of can we can somewhat see the future, okay, before it gets here. And so we are able to start preparing for stuff and talk about stuff. You say, what are you talking about? What's wrong with you? And then all of a sudden, 5, 6, 7 years go by, guess what? Here it is. And so Cheyenne also has those skills also. And I also, Chuck, I can put you in that same boat also. But now, having said that, okay, Cheyenne knows a little bit about Chuck, knows of Candy, knows of Greg, knows of Black. Now, the one thing we all know about Chuck, okay, that the National Chamber of Commerce is going through a resurgence, for lack of a better description. And in life, most great organizations have to go through a change of the guard, a generational change, and then we all sit back and say, how is this going to work out? Is this going to be okay? Is this going to drop dead, cause Harry down dead, or do we continue moving forward? Now, I just gave you a title, Chuck, as the #1 black entrepreneurs in the world. Now, I say that, okay, because with your guidance and with your wisdom and the God teaching you, that you just created a alliance, okay, with organizations that older than all of us on this telephone because back to 1900. Am I right?
Yeah. Say that again.
We have created an alliance, okay, with an organization that was started back in 1900. That was
It's 121 years old.
Okay, and that was something that
started by Booker T. Washington. Yes.
Yes.
So tell us about that organization, please.
Well, Booker T. Washington really, like, the way we look at our communities, the way we're looking at stuff, when he was looking at it, it was like post-slavery. So it was a completely, as I would see it and say it, as an open landscape. We didn't have nothing. We have no organization, and they were coming out of slavery, and with the 40 acres and mule, and make your mark on this piece of paper for your goods, or for, there's a lot of bartering kind of things that were the basic beginnings of commerce and how it began. And Booker T was looking at it. So what were the key elements of a community? What makes a community? What are those building blocks of a community? Well, certainly education, some kind of economic presence or something going on, healthcare, and the church. And so those were the pillars of what's common. So, make a long story short, the educational part that as he saw it, ended up becoming Tuskegee Institute. The commerce part of that was the National Business League. And then the healthcare part of it was the National Medical Association. So as you educated people, people became doctors, they became lawyers, they became dentists, they became CPAs. So the National Medical Association, the National Bar Association, the National Association of Accountants, all that came out of this National Business League, of these concepts that Booker T pulled together. The NBCC was started upon those very same principles. The National Black Chamber of Commerce was directly founded upon the original chamber. And we're talking about the National Business League as a chamber of commerce. That was, I don't know how many years, 20, 30 years or something like that before the U.S. Chamber of Commerce was created. It's a whole different animal, because this was a necessity. This was like from scratch. These people, our people, we got nothing. And ain't nobody giving us nothing. As a matter of fact, they're trying to tell you, it's like the routing signs along the road, they're pointing them in the wrong direction. So you got to really not even just know the map. You got to know who made the map, or let's go out and get our own map. Because it's going to be reliable. And so those were the principles and the elements of which we were founded upon. So this moment of what we're doing, and I relate to Cheyenne, because if you don't know where you're going, you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been.
There you go.
You got to know where your history is and what and like, so all this prosperity has led to what? Softness, that acceptance of the way things are. We stopped harvesting. We stopped culling our soils and making the things so that the stuff keeps growing at an optimal level, that we keep developing. We did what? We took vocational training out of schools. We took music out of schools. We took religion and buried that somewhere. We used pandemic to make sure we're throwing dirt on it. And where are we now? So all that was built up, all these forces, all those gains that came from the Civil Rights Movement. The 1964 Civil Rights Act, that was supposed to put in place that everybody could participate in our economy. And when they started looking the other way and saying that, well, we can't find anybody today, so we're not worried about those guidelines. We're not worried about it. They don't go out and say, well, my house is built close to the beach, and that beach is eroding. Well, it's just a matter of time for that house is going to end up in the water. If you don't do something about it, you've got to maintenance it. You've got to manage it. You've got to be out here looking and see where things are going and what's really happening. And that's all relative to what we're doing. So what's happening with National Black Chamber and partnering with the National Business League, the original, they're a little bit different from us. They are focused less on entities in the marketplaces or with the Federation of Chambers and more have a central thing, but they are advocating for the same element of, first and foremost, what data do you base any decisions on? So that's kind of like not only knowing our history, but what are the facts? You know, what your corporation, so we talked about how many billions of dollars it was going to be committed by a corporation as catalytic from George Floyd, from Black Lives Matter, from, we want to do something there. We see y'all been slighted. And, you know, and all this talk about reparations and all that, we weren't trying to hear, but we can see where, you know, been affected by that, except for one thing. Well, $40 billion of that never left the bank. Yeah, there's a whole lot of ink. There's a whole lot of press and media on it, but y'all didn't do anything. So it's okay, but don't be trying to take a bow like you did something because you just said it. You didn't do anything. There's no impact. So don't say we did that and there was no impact to the black community. It's still just as bad as ever. It ain't a money issue. It's a people issue. That's not necessarily the case. So anyway, we're bringing our own data. We're bringing our own academians, our own thought leaders, our own business owners, and everybody together to say, and as well, these companies are not all bad people with bad or malicious intentions. They are people that are saying, we don't know how to do it. We try to figure it out. You know, after George Floyd, they went out, one of the most highly sought people was somebody to fill a diversity chief job. And so we go back and you start going down the line, let's say the Fortune 500, say, well, who did they hire? What did they do? Man, you got people in these jobs now. They're a diversity chief, but they don't even know anybody is different from their culture. They don't even know anybody, let alone don't go to that grocery store. And no, don't go down there. Don't ride public transportation. Don't expose yourself. Don't put yourself in there with people. And they're trying to kind of like throw at it. You know, they're trying to talk at something instead of being immersed or in it. And then there are the companies that got people that have been through it and understand it. And they're saying, this is what we're trying to do. Can you help us do that? And we're saying, let us make sure we understand it. Of course we can help. And we appreciate you giving us a voice and opportunity to participate. So, in a nutshell, that gets you in the room with what we're doing.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, now, Chuck, having said that, I got Scott, I got Rev, I got Cheyenne, I got Candy as my witness. Now, what Chuck just described, you know, I could have done no better than no one, okay, other than himself. What Chuck has done, okay, describes a beautiful organization that now is part of the National Human Commerce family and be part of their family. And what the picture that we have is that Chuck is our global ambassador for National Human Commerce. He's been around the world several times, and he's well known, and he had the foresight to say, let's get together and work together. Now, people get on the telephone, would they all agree that Chuck is the number one black entrepreneur in the world? The thing that he just created his organization. Candy?
Hold on, I was on mute.
Okay, would you agree with me that Chuck deserves that title?
Oh, Chuck knows his stuff.
Okay. Cheyenne, did you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ray?
That was a lot.
Amen. Amen.
Okay.
Amen.
Oh, scientia et potentia always. Knowledge is always power. Knowledge is always power, and if he has the data, that's very important.
Chuck, could you just let me put flowers on you right now? And the reason
I accept it. I accept it. Here's the world I live in. So here comes a rapper. Here comes a drug dealer. Here comes a mortician. Here comes whatever. They want to know. So how much money you got? You all that? You've been out here doing that. And that's where I say, you know what, I respect you, and I respect that question, and we're about to answer that question. Because historically, we were always out to serve. We were the nonprofit. We weren't supposed to have any money. We get ready to change that. We're going for the money. And everything ain't free out here, and everything ain't for everybody.
Amen.
So it is what it is. Thank you, but you know what? I pledge and give my life, my soul, my family's, my legacy, my network. That information, that's not just me. It's network. It's being around these people and pulling it back, but sharing it, freely sharing it. And coming with it. But that's what we're going to we're teaching people how to make money.
And you try to respect your deflect, okay? I'm happy to say that you're, in your own humble way, agree that you're making a change in the world, entire world, with our relationships in Africa, South America, all around in Paris and places like that. That you have taken the chamber there, because I tell you all the time, your sister and Harry saw you as being the face of the NASDAQ Chamber of Commerce.
Now, I will say this about that.
Okay.
Ain't nobody can touch us on that.
Okay.
Bring that. I will wear that one. There's nobody out here. There's no Mr. Livingston lost in the jungle. Let me tell you what we're doing now. On Tuesday, and all y'all on the hater side or whatever, don't worry, there are going to be people at my house. So I won't be gone, but my dogs and everybody else will still be here at my house. So don't think just because I'm gone. So I'm going to Colombia, Bogota, Colombia, South America, and again, I know what you think. As soon as I think Colombia, but yeah, so they have a association of mayors, kind of like similar to what we have here at the World Council of Mayors, except they got over 100.
Which you spoke to already.
Yeah, exactly. So this one is the Colombian group. There's 170 black mayors, and they said, listen, I was at the embassy this past week. And they said, listen, no, let's sign the MOU with the organization, then you get all 170 cities. Then we can implement and immediately go right into our economic development strategy. And that is exactly what we do here with our chambers, of recognizing the entrepreneurs within that community, whether they be in agriculture, tech, or infrastructure, or whatever it is. And even if they just got a hammer and a screwdriver, we take them and bring them into working with others so that we can go back to the government and say, no, we got people that can do the work. You can stop handing it out to just one company to do it all. And then they're bringing in workers from China or somewhere to do it. And we're going to train, we're going to develop, we're going to mentor and partner and joint venture with the African-American businesses, but as well as the African businesses or Afro-Caribbean or whatever they are. And we're going to increase capacity. We're going to transfer technological knowledge and resources. We're going to collectively and aggregate access to capital. But we have a government that's supportive and willing to do it. So when it comes to that kind of thing, we own it. We own it.
I saw right there, Chuck. Just this week, within my Chamber of Commerce, our education committee, we had set up our meeting, but this coming Tuesday, Reverend Klein has been on our program for the he's meeting with the Lieutenant Governor in Jeff City, Lincoln University, and some platform to do exactly what I'm doing right now. Chicken program for our young. And also, just this week, in technology, institute that we started right now, we have a millionaire Diamond Green, who's our here, and we created an institute with exactly that in our ECAP project, ECAP Missouri project. exactly the thing you're talking about doing that, Chuck. We land a foundation to do that, okay? So we will have the best technology in telecommunications anywhere in the world, facilities down in Haytime, Missouri. And we're able to share that around the world, as this is our goal. So that's right in line with all those countries, whatever they need there, we got to, we want to go for, you want to be just a small system, a big system, we have the capacity to do all of that. So right now, that's what we're kind of, doing the same thing now as we get out here with Chuck, along the same model that what you talking about you do it there. So again, we all on the same page. Do you agree? And then we all agree that we got a leader, okay, that we can follow, named Chuck DeBow.
Amen. Amen.
So now, Chuck, as I said early on, okay, before I gently, okay, explain to you what I said to you, and you just admitted to your own self, okay, that title, nobody can take that away from you, okay? And I know any black man, I know too many people, period, okay, even presidents, even white men, okay, that would have the opportunity to do what you're doing in Colombia on Tuesday.
Well,
I rest my case.
Yeah, Case, okay. Sometimes you just have to share that.
Okay. Now, amongst us, Cheyenne, the youngest friend, he has to go because he has to go to a party with the call right now. But, Cheyenne, am I right about you?
Cheyenne? I'm sorry, she just stepped out for a minute.
Oh, okay. I know that she has to leave. Okay?
Yeah, she got to leave.
Yeah. And I think she's already left, okay? Because she wasn't going to meet on. His son is getting ready to go to Korea and all the families coming in.
Yeah.
So keep that.
One thing I say about your family is that it's beautiful, and that you raised a beautiful child is to think on their own and make decisions.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do with our society, is put some good people in it.
Yeah. It takes a village, and I had help. It wasn't just me. And just like when I was coming up, I had a village of people in the community that really put into me, but I was open and accepted it, and I'm glad I did. I look back now and I'm like, wow, okay. Somehow, and I was like, mugging them, like, oh, here we go. Now I sit back, I say, I'm so grateful. So we gotta, do that with our next generation. Just pour it in them, even when they don't hear, but they need this because we need them to succeed.
Amen.
I hate to say this, but it is 2:55 right now.
I hate to say it too, because it's so much fun and it's so enriching. However, we'll make sure that we keep it going.
You just gave us but tell us, continue right now. First of all, I'm glad to know what you just said about Tuesday, okay? And I said to you before, Chuck, I got stuff on the phone here, you understand? Talk to the mayors down there while you're there. You want to copy that video of you speaking it.
We've got a meeting. See, this is a precursor to a meeting with the vice president and the president. So when we walk in there, it's going to be like, it's going to be like Moses leading the people up and straight up into the house. No, we're together, and they're like, they need the backing to prove to the citizens that when they tell these corporations that you got to step your diversity up, what you're doing. So we're going to have the businesses, we're going to have everything in place. We're already going to have it going. We're going to have a web portal where anybody can sign up anywhere in the world in every language.
Amen.
And right now, Chuck, you want to know when it comes to the broadband technology, we got it right here in Azuba Commons. We got Scott. We have the wherewithal right now to do anything when it comes to broadband technology. Right, Scott?
That's correct, sir.
Right. When you go in there, okay, we got you for broadband, okay? If you want to install it, we can do that for you. You got a small system there for you. When it comes to the radio and the technology on that side, we gas cap. And now it's time for us to also get paid.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
And in the country production, okay, we got Candy Lane. Okay, they've been doing, they're award winners. So any kind of television production they want to do, a movie we want to do, we can do that also. So when you run that truck, there's one chamber right now, okay, it's coming technology, that's us.
Amen.
That's us. You ain't got to look no further. Right here. And that was a goal that we started building this chamber years ago in 2015 to do this. And now it's coming together in a beautiful time. Right now, we deal with out. So how are you going to get out of that, Chuck?
Oh, I'm just hitting and quitting. I'm right out of there. And Tuesday in Bogota, Wednesday in Cali, Thursday in Cali, Friday back to New Orleans. And New Orleans is the National Minority Supplier Development Council Conference. That's where all the corporations are in there talking about their diversity supply. And I've never been, and we invited. But you know, speaking of that gentleman, he was formerly on our board. He resigned, and I believe he's working with the other chamber now. And he got caught. He got caught up. He got caught up in that sway of the vacuum that when Harry and Kay passed, he had some ideas and thoughts, and I think there's some other board members. So I wasn't part of it. I don't know what happened.
I know.
And I just kind of let things flow. But they flow as they may. But he's a good man. I welcome him back.
Oh, I know. You know, the show and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, but also look out because I got some new players. I got some new folks that might want to come to the table. It's time for folks to have their chances, their shot.
I just said, Chuck, you the man. Right, Ken?
I'm gonna tell you one of them right now. Mr. Ira Fowlkes is right at the top of the level. I foresee a huge growth and development for the Missouri Black Chamber of Commerce. We're getting calls about it. Our chairman said he's got some resources for you. I'm looking forward to getting in there and working with you, but we're not gonna leave you behind. You coming with us, brother? Amen.
Yeah, that's a nice time to say we want to thank Candy and also Cheyenne and also Wayne who wasn't here. We want to thank you, and Scott. This is Chuck. My name is Aaron Fowlkes with the Missouri Chamber of Commerce. Until this time next week, have a beautiful week. And next week, I have a special guest next week on Blow Your Mask for the young black entrepreneurs, Chuck.
Absolutely. Amen. God bless us all, and let's stay strong and go into these holidays and finish out this year strong. Amen.
Life is good. Life is good. Life is good. Stay 1 o'clock.